Hey everybody, it's Robin and welcome to the Robin's Nest. Today on my channel, I'm going to be making a cake that I'm really excited but a little bit nervous about. I'm going to be trying my hand at a Marge Simpson cake. Now, this cake is going to be a little bit on the tall side, so it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But this is one of my all-time favorite shows, so this should be really fun to decorate, and I hope I do it justice. You guys can let me know what you think. Now let's get into it. So as I said before, this is going to be a fairly tall cake. So I baked up 6 6-inch vanilla cake layers that are going to be stacked and tiered in layers of 2. But before we do that, we have to even these out because they're rounded off a little bit. So I'm going to take my cake leveler and we're going to level these off so that way our cake stacks nice and tall and straight. Now we're just going to save our cake scraps for later so we can give our cake a little extra height after we stack it. Now once you finish leveling your layers, you can begin to stack and fill them. But before we start ours, I want to just go over some of the equipment we're going to be using today, as today's technique is a little bit different than I normally use. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is my cake board. As you can see, it's extra thick. And that's because this is actually 3 cake boards attached together and wrapped in some greaseproof paper. Now the next thing I'm going to show you guys is what I'm going to be using for supports. Now normally I know a lot of people use straws, and if that's all you have, that's fine, but today I'm going to be using some wooden skewers because I want everything to stay extra sturdy, and because they're wooden and they're sharp at the end, I can drive them down into my cake board for extra support. Now the last thing I want to show you guys is my smaller cake boards, and these are going to go in between each of my tiers, and they're going to serve as the base for my support system. So I'm just going to take a little bit of vanilla icing here, and we're going to attach our first layer to our cake board, and we can begin our stacking process. So once you finish stacking and filling your layers, we're going to come back in with all these cake scraps that we said we were going to save for later, and I'm going to stack them with some buttercream on the top to create kind of a rounded shape so we don't have to carve too much. Now, to be on the cautious side, I did add one final support, and that was one extra large skewer right down through the very center of my cake and drove into my cake board. So now my cake is fairly secure and shouldn't go anywhere. And now to make this a little sturdier, we're actually going to pop this in the fridge to chill for about 30 or 40 minutes. So our cake has been chilled and it is now nice and firm, so it's time to start some carving. So I'm going to take a serrated knife, and with a gentle sawing motion all the way around, we're going to trim off all this caramelization, then I'm going to clean up all this mess, and then we'll be ready for our crumb coat. So ultimately, when my cake is finished, I still want it to look like a cake, so I haven't carved off very much, but I think that looks pretty great so far. What do you guys think? Thumbs up if you like it, and if you have any questions about anything I've done so far, hit me up in the comment section too. Alright, let's get all these crumbs sealed in. So as you can see, I drew up this really cool stencil, and I'm going to be using this as a template for Marge's face. So I'm going to start by rolling out some of this yellow fondant, and I'm not going to roll it out super thin because I'm going to be using my fingers to mold and shape her mouth and her nose. Then I'm going to take my template and I'm going to use it to cut out the rest of the pattern, and we're going to apply it to our cake while it's still soft. And there she is. I think she looks really good so far. What do you guys think? So now that we're done with the shape of her face, we're going to start working on her facial features. So I'm going to give her some eyes and eyelashes, some cute little ears, and even her signature necklace. And once I'm finished with all that, then we'll start working on her hair. Alright guys, we're on the home stretch, and I'm so happy with how this cake is turning out. I think it looks awesome. But I think she's going to look even better with her full head hair. So I'm going to start rolling out some of this blue fondant, and I'm going to cut out a whole bunch of different circles in different sizes. Then we're going to soften the edges of those circles and piece them all over the cake like a puzzle. I think it's going to look really cool, so I can't wait to see it when it's all done. Well guys, here she is, and I love her. I think it looks great, and I really hope you guys all like it too. If you do, you know what to do. Hit that big thumbs up button and leave some love in the comment section too. And if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you receive a notification every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.